Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what's going on. Shakur Stevenson, listen, 20-0, no losses, no draws, hailing from Jersey, Newark. We all know what's happening. He was on $1 million worth of game. We all know what's going on with $1 million worth of game. You know, shout out to them Philly guys, Gilly the Kid, Wallow. They have definitely a hit show on their hands. Has been going on for years. I believe this may be the second time Shakur Stevenson was on the show, and Shakur definitely unleashed. I love the fact that the interview took place in the middle of the squared circle, because that's somewhere where it's hard to find Shakur Stevenson in the middle of the squared circle. Not to his own, reasons why we don't see him is due to the other fighters. So many other fighters running, ducking over hula hoops, jumping, making sure they don't have to see Mr. Shakur Stevenson. And he definitely violated Frank Martin. We got to get all into it. We all know that Frank Martin was going to take precedence because that was supposed to be a big fight. We all know what's going on with Frank Martin. We're going to get all into everything. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe for more boxing news, updates, and more. It's Flight Sports TV. Listen, we're going to be bringing an array of content, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what time it is. If you're a boxing fan, get in the comment section right now. We got to get all into it. Now, it was nothing but a couple of weeks ago that it definitely was announced that we was going to get the fight that we wanted to see for the vacant title. Clearly it's been some swerves, in the whole plans, because due to what, Shakur Stevenson revealed today, Frank Martin backed out of the fight. Now, this would have been a big fight, like I said. We all know Frank Martin is down with Errol Spence Jr., Man Down Promotions. Listen, Frank Martin is undefeated, 18-0, no losses, no draws, 12 wins, by the way, a knockout. He's had a late start in boxing. Yes, the GOAT. Me personally, I don't believe this fight would have been competitive, but I think that you have the names, you have the camps, you have, so I think that would have been bigger than what I think the fight would have been. Frank Martin was probably smart for his best interest not to take a fight where you have absolutely no chance. I don't know if he thought that since Errol Spence took a loss, okay, I could take a loss too. Let me go after a big time guy right now and see what happens. But I don't even think he had a puncher's chance. Frank Martin to me doesn't strike me as a guy. He's not a tank, where, one shot could change the game. It's hard for Frank to get that one shot. A guy like Javante, he has a better chance of getting that one shot off, due to the skill level and things of that nature. Frank Martin's skill set is not on the level of a Shakur Stevenson, on the level of a Javante Davis. I'm going to even say Devin Haney. I just don't think Frank Martin is at that level skill-wise. I think Man Down Promotions has put him in the best situations, for victory. His last fight that was, to me personally, that was really good was the Rivera fight. The last couple of fights, like I said, the Aratum fight, come on, man, that was some people feel like he won that fight, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But nonetheless, Shakur Stevenson will fight Edwin D. Los Santos, since the swerve happened. Now, Shakur Stevenson revealed that it was a situation with the money. And we know that's something that a lot of fighters try to hide behind the money, because Shakur said that he was going to get 25% for the fight. It seemed like, from all accounts, it was a 75-25 split. Shakur Stevenson is the name, and he did say that, out there. Frank Martin does have a name too, but, it's not a Shakur Stevenson. 25% I think would have been good. A lot of people might feel like, Haney offered a similar fight. Why didn't you take that? But we'll get into that later, because Haney did speak out, and we're going to get into what Devin Haney said. So make sure you subscribe. You don't miss that. But the fight against Shakur and Santos is going to go down on the 16th of November in Las Vegas, and this will be for the vacant WBC lightweight title for whatever reason. And if you Frank Martin, why wouldn't you want to fight for the title? Isn't that, this guy done won 2 title eliminators, and it's unfortunate that we're not going to see him fight for the title. I guess he wants to fight somebody a little bit more easier for whatever reason, but like I said, he had no shot against Shakur. That fight was definitely going to be something epic. The deal was not reached between the two. So Martin decided not to proceed with the bout after the contract was sent over. So clearly, once he got the contract, he must have felt like it wasn't right. So we're going to have to figure out from Frank Martin's point of view what took place. And usually when you have a situation $1 million worth of game where you bring in a guy like Shakur, I would expect Frank Martin to be on right after, so to hear what he got to say. But if you've been living under a rock, the 23-year-old from the Dominican Republic, De Los Santos, he is 16-1, 14 wins by the way of knockout. He impressed, in his last 2 fights. He rose off the canvas to score a 3rd-round knockout over Jose Valenzuela in September of 2022 and followed that up with a unanimous decision win over Joseph Adorno in July. De Los Santos' lone defeat was an 8-round split decision against William Foster in January 2022. So this guy right here on paper is nothing to scoff at. Less than 2 weeks after that setback, De Los Santos will meet Stevenson, on ESPN's number 9 pound-for-pound boxer. This is what they have Shakur, for the title formerly held by undisputed lightweight champion Devin the Dream Haney. The WBC named Haney champion in recess after he decided to move up to 140 pounds for a shot at the organization's junior welterweight title. That fight for Regis Prograis' WBC title would take place December 9th in San Francisco. And I do believe that Haney will beat Regis, and that's why he took that fight. They jumped over hula hoops not to get that situation, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Most duck fighter in the sport of boxing, Stevenson posted on Instagram after Mark withdrew. Edwin, get ready. I'm tired of you saying my name. So clearly they had some backup plans in place with the notion that something like this was going to take place. Shakur won't be fighting in Newark again because he was killing at the Prudential Center. I think his last 2 fights was back home at the Prudential, but Shakur gonna get respected everywhere. All boxing fans respect him. Let's get in the comment section and let's discuss the situation with the contracts. And hopefully we could get this fight later on down the line. Those of you want to fight for a title. So I'm kind of thrown off by that. But hey, we'll leave it at that. Make sure y'all go check out $1 million worth of game. You had Shakur Stevenson iced out. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe. Peace and love.